as a young girl, well respected by her elders. Amelia writes in one of her letters that Jean has chaperoned Marjorie and some other girls at a dance. It is all right if Jean is with them. At this time, Jean would have been 26 years old and Marjorie 16. Jean went to normal school in Fredericton, received her second-class teacher license, and then returned and achieved her first class. She taught in several schools as far as away as Campbellton. In 1918, Jean took a position in Hillsdale where she met her future husband, Pearlie Pickle. Aunt Jean insisted Pearlie's last name was spelled P-I-C-K-E-L. Amelia writes to Ada, "Your husband has a very nice name. Jean's intended is called Pearlie Pickle, and I do not admire that much. Do you?" Jean.
Yes, I had.
Go on.
Oh.
Keep reading.
Well, okay, I thought you were, okay. Jean and Pearlie were married in 1920, and she was 32 years old. Pearlie and Aunt Jean moved to Ohio in the 20s, and all 5 of their children were born in the States. They returned back home in 31. Aunt Jean did come home in 1925 for her mother's funeral. After returning back to Canada, she taught in various schools, and eventually in 38 they moved to Sussex. They kept boarders during the war years. The last school Aunt Jean taught was at Lakeside near Kingston, is that right?
Yeah.
And she was 73 or 74 years old. After Pearlie's death in the 60s, Aunt Jean moved to Fredericton, and she had her apartment burned there. And she moved back to Sussex in 71 into seniors' apartments and then into a nursing home in 79. What I remember about Aunt Jean is when every time she came to our place, she always took my bedroom. And I would get very upset that I lost my bedroom to her. And she she did a lot of traveling. She went up to Alaska. I think her son Jim was stationed up there. And there was another thing, I remember one day we were cleaning out the barn or the machine shed and came across the pickle bottles. And Dad was getting really mad and making comments about Aunt Jean's pickle bottles. I don't know if Aunt Jean approved of playing cards or not. I think she was one Sunday night I was playing solitaire, and I don't know whether she said something to me or not. I remember she was at the kitchen table.
And our mother's daughters to the cards.
Well, that's what I heard earlier there. But this was Sunday night, and I wondered whether it was something to do with Sunday night.
Could be.
Okay, my mother has a picture that Aunt Jean gave her, hangs in her living room, and that's the picture. And Maureen is supposed to get it, but I think maybe there was some scratching on this weekend.
My car is in the garage.
And the car is in the garage. And I have a small table that I use as a nightstand. It's Aunt Jean's, and I use it at home. Now, Peter told me that Pearlie was a carpenter. I don't know if this is right or not. And this table looks very homemade, but Peter said that Pearlie wasn't a very good carpenter, so I'm not sure. And Leslie has 4 chairs that belong to Aunt Jean's, but one is broken right now. So, and she died at the age of 102. She was October the 7th, 1990, and she's buried in Sussex, Kirk Hill Cemetery. So.